What's up, Straight Up Sister Squad? It's your girl Roxy,
And I'm Last Susie.
and together we are.
Straight Up Sisters, the podcast.
I'm the Bratty,
And I'm the boss.
and we love having those deep, intimate conversations where we often agree and disagree, but still love each other.
So if you love it served up with no chaser, then you're in the right place.
We are undoubtedly your favorite girls. You know who we are.
Straight Up Sisters, the podcast.
Your favorite sisters, we're back. Straight Up Sisters, the podcast. And I'm still trying to get used to these million cameras in our faces every single weekend.
Cameras,
week.
lights,
Action.
attitude. Oh, action.
You guys, Susie just spilled coffee on
No,
the
she didn't.
sofa.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. and I was
Lies.
like,
With
ah!
all these cameras in here, there's not even a single proof. You're
Well, yeah.
lying.
They weren't recording yet. But anyways, you guys, how are we feeling today? What's the mood vibe? What's the
We're
check-in?
feeling so excited because you guys watched this like 1 week delay.
Or maybe even 2 weeks, because now we're ahead of the game.
Oh yeah. Well, anyhow, today is actually the day that first episode of season 13 went public to y'all. So you guys already heard the news.
I feel so relieved.
Oh my
you
gosh.
guys.
Yes, you guys heard the news, the big reveal, the feedback that you guys are giving us has been amazing. It feels like we can breathe. Cause bitch, I don't like keeping secrets.
Yeah.
I'm straight up with no chasers. So having to keep my mouth shut was hard.
Yeah, I've been getting so many women writing to me telling me, oh my gosh, Roxy, thank you for sharing your story. I have PCOS. They want to know everything I did that led to pregnancy. So I'm
Did
just
they
like,
listen to the show.
they
Watch
did,
the
but
show.
now they want like a consulta with Roxy. Like, I need to know the herbologist you went. I need to speak to the herbologist. I need to know what you did because like I was telling you, so many women want to conceive and they can't. And I don't know if it's the water we're drinking, the food that we're eating, but I would just say in this situation, the way it happened for me is when you let go and you let God, amazing things happen.
Listen,
when you
that's-
stop
that's in all
obsessing,
things.
things happen. But I do feel relieved because I'm like, oh, okay, now maybe my belly will grow a little bit.
Yeah. I honestly, I think that's why your body was not reacting the way you wanted it to react because subconsciously you were like, I need to keep this to myself. I need to keep this to myself. But now that pressure is gone, and by this point too, social media knows,
Yeah.
right? They don't know as much as y'all know, but they know it's public information now. So I think your body's gonna do what your body's supposed
What
to
it
do.
needs to do, honey. But listen,
Girl.
all right, so we're starting off with a highlight or a rant. I'm super excited, y'all. We have a special guest in the building with us.
You're actually our first guest in this studio.
Yeah, our
Oh, wow.
boy.
Yeah.
You're the first guest, Humble
Wow.
the Poet, y'all. Yes.
You never forget your first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't.
that's so dope.
I mean, I try. Oh wait, talk about something else. Never mind.
No, but I'm super excited to have you here with us, sharing this space. I actually got a hold of this book, which is your first book. It's
Yeah.
called Unlearn. If y'all want to go buy it on anywhere they sell books. I actually can't remember where I got this book from. I don't know if somebody gave it to me.
I feel like that's a gift Sky would give you. That's like a Sky gift.
No.
Or Julie? Julie said?
I don't know
A
where.
lot of people have that story. A lot of people have that. I somehow I came across the book, and I don't know why, and I picked it up and I opened it.
And then I was like, it's such easy reading. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. So whenever I love reading it when I fly
Yeah.
because it's just little short
Yeah,
stories.
you did take that with you when we went to
Tennessee.
You know what you should do? This is what I think you should do with your life.
Lord.
This book should like rotate amongst your friends. Like you should write inside that like your name so we know it's yours. But everybody should give it to somebody when you're done. Since you don't know how you got it.
That's a
You
great
get it?
idea, sis.
Oh, darling, I'm full of them.
Oh, God. No, but I honestly don't know where I got this book, Humble, but I got it. I started reading it. I mean, some of the chapters in here are just like they call your name. The more love you give, the more you get. What's taking up space in your life? Killing expectations births happiness. Like they're just short little chapters. And I was like, I like the way this guy writes. International bill. Are you a New York best-selling author?
I may or may not be. I don't. check
I
that
know it's
stuff
like certain
anymore.
numbers you got to hit to
It's
like.
not even numbers.
What
It's not
is it?
even-
I heard that the New York best-selling list is like super political.
It's
I wouldn't doubt it.
it's like it's a little bit of a hybrid. Like I have a friend who recently sold a gang of books, and they like they got all the data and they had outsold a gang of people and still didn't make the list.
Really?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's not
It's
a sales book.
politics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard it's super-
you know
It
what? I
has
don't
to
even
be
know if it's
politics.
yeah, it might be politics, but it could also it's something like it's like I could imagine I sold like 1 million books, but I didn't do Good Morning America. Then for some reason it doesn't count.
Oh.
It's got this,
Really?
yeah. There's got to be a certain level of like mainstreamness, which is really strange because we're in an era where the mainstream is shrinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is
Yeah.
digital.
Everything is digital, and I think that in itself is a thing. So what the way I've been an artist now for about 12 years. What I realize is all of these kind of metrics, like New York Times bestseller, winning a Grammy, these
Wall
are
Street Journal,
Yeah.
best-selling author, all
you,
that.
You grow up seeing this stuff, so you want it, but there's not actually a
We're conditioned to
benefit.
think that that's what success
Yeah.
looks like.
So I've hit a lot of different bestseller lists, which were actually like based on numbers.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I've done all of that, but I mean, again, I don't actually know the
Mhm.
importance of it.
But it sounds good.
sounds
International
good,
bestseller,
yeah.
Humble the Poet.
Yeah.
No, so
Sounds
I
good.
picked this up and then I just can't remember the backstory on where I got this book from.
Yeah.
But I looked you up on Instagram and of course you showed up. I was like, oh dang, he's active. Cause some pages you go on and like there's this book that I'm reading right now and I went to their Instagram page and it's like they barely post. That's kind of a turnoff, because you want to see pages be active.
Mm.
And I found you, I started following you, and then I told myself we're gonna have him on the podcast. And then
Oh,
look,
amazing.
like magic, poof, he appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for
when I
having
set
me.
my mind to something, and I shared your page with my sister, and I was like, we need to have
I
him on
know.
the
I was
show.
like, we got to make this happen.
Yeah,
That's
And what I
awesome.
love mostly too, I love when we get the opportunity to speak with men
Yeah.
that speak this language.
yeah,
That men that write books like this. Like I'm reading How to Be Loved,
which
and I
is your
love
newest book.
title.
Yeah.
and I love how simple it is to understand, and I love that it's from a man's perspective, because anytime that you get that vulnerability or that insight from a man, to me it's so beautiful. I'm a mom to boys.
Mhm.
I'm married to a man, and I like to nurture that as often as I can. So when I find actual tangible content literature that I can say, here, read this is dope, or I can give
Yeah.
it to them, like it's so refreshing, because
Yeah.
it's a dime a dozen. There's
Yeah.
so many women out there doing this.
Yeah.
I like to hear from the fella's perspective.
I think it's interesting. I think what's happening right now is we're in a transition period where a lot of women are discovering and amplifying their voices and they're bossing up, and a lot of men are finding and discovering their voices in the world of vulnerability. So those
Yeah.
it's
Oh, I
almost
love
the
that
opposite,
word.
right? And
Yeah.
I think that's important because a lot of men, and the reason guys aren't vulnerable is because they were signaled growing up that was a weakness.
Yep.
Were you
100%.
Yeah.
1000%. And again, I'm not holding against anybody or my culture or my
Right.
parents. They didn't know either, right?
Right.
We say that all the time.
Yeah.
We say that all the time. Like, I had a super tumultuous relationship growing up with my mother.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I became a mother that I was able to see her through different eyes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started to level up my emotional intelligence and go
Yeah.
down my growth journey that I understood, like, she only knew what she knew.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
Mm.
where she was parenting me from. She didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So I hold no resentment or grudges towards her. I love my mom
Yeah.
because I get it.
Yeah. Especially as children of immigrants, where it's like they were literally like put food on the table. You were feeding your kids, like
Yeah.
that's it. And they
Yeah.
put themselves through some of the most difficult circumstances to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then they may not know about emotional intelligence. They may not have the energy to be there and make you feel good about yourself or make you feel seen because they're trying to feed you.
Right.
Yeah, that's like the most
Yeah.
important
to
thing
them,
for them.
Yeah.
to them, that was how they were loving you.
Yeah.
They were keeping you above water
Yes.
in this
Yes.
crazy foreign place that they were themselves trying to
Yeah.
navigate. That's a big tall
Yeah.
order.
They just
So
didn't
listen,
know we were watching TV and watching Full House and
right.
watching these white parents tell their kids, "I'm proud of you," and be
Right.
like, "Maybe one day my mom will
just
tell me
wanna
she's proud
hear
of
that.
me." Yeah.
We skipped right over our rants or our highlights.
No,
y'all.
we're not gonna skip. I just
We don't
wanted to
have to skip. Yeah,
introduce
let's
them
do
for
it.
sure. But okay, so listen, Humble, we do a thing called a rant or a highlight. So we get to rant about something, or we get to highlight something,
Yeah.
or we get to do a little bit of both. We
Yeah.
like to call that a hybrid.
Yeah.
So since you're our guest, we're gonna let you go first. A rant or a highlight.
Okay, I guess I think it's a little bit of it started as a
highlight.
rant and it turned into a highlight. It was
So,
yeah.
it's your world. Just
It's
go.
not- so yesterday I had to go get my car. Like it had a bunch of like recall notices. I had to get a service. So I went to the dealership to get a service, and then they're like, okay, I go, can I get a loaner? They're like, oh, we'll take you to a rental place and they'll give you a rental car. So they pick you up. So they picked me up from the car dealership, took me to this next spot. This is 7:30 in the morning.
Oof.
I don't do.
You're like, I don't do early.
I don't do single digits ever, right? So I'm sitting there like I didn't even know there was a 7 a.m. That's how I felt. So I am completely out of it at this point, and I'm just going through the motions. And then the dude at the car dealer at the rental place was trying to like upsell me all these insurances, and this is a half a day rental. I'm not renting this.
Wow.
This is like I'll get my car back by the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm not. This is just I need a car to get around.
Right.
And the dealership's paying for it. So I'm not. All I'm here to do is get the key.
Right. Just give me the damn keys.
Give me the key. And I'm half asleep and I'm sitting there, and then he's trying to upsell. He's like, can we? You want to get this insurance? I was like, no, I got this credit card. It has insurance on it. All this type of stuff. And he keeps trying to like upsell. And he's a really nice guy, but he's trying to upsell. And I'm way too sleepy, and it's $10. I'm like, sure, whatever. Let's just do it. And then I guess so he notices on my hands I have tattoos.
Which I
Uh-huh.
love that now.
Thank you. Yeah.
By the way, that's so dope.
Yes, being present now. And so he notices them on my hand and he's like, oh, you got tattoos. I'm a tattoo artist. And I couldn't see any tattoos on him, but what it was is he was wearing all full sleeves and
Oh
covered up
yeah, so he's covered.
for his job. 'Cause
Yep.
He's like the rent, So he shows me and like he just pulls down and he's completely covered. And then we start talking on that. And then, he's completely warms up. Then he starts giving me all these things for free.
Oh.
All these
Look at
freebies.
guy.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
what happens when when you're like friendly with people.
And again, and I was half asleep the whole time, but it was interesting because he has to hide his tattoos because he feels like customers don't respect him
Oh, he
accordingly.
felt like it would be a taboo in his
Yeah,
place.
and I thought the irony was you saw my tattoos and treated me better.
Yeah.
Wow, that is.
He felt some
Yeah.
kind of relatability.
It was a
with you.
relatability, right? And he was like, "Yeah, I just really like your vibes and all of this." And he was talking about how he's studying to become a full-time tattoo artist, and and I'm like, "Oh, because I have friends who are tattoo artists." I go, what are you practicing on? Like sometimes they practice on pig skin, there's fake skin, they practice on like cantaloupes, they practice on everything, and it was just
Did you say pigskin?
pig skin? Yeah,
Oh shoot.
yeah, because that's like I guess it feels like human skin.
Mhm.
Because there's like a science to like
Yeah,
stretching the
yes.
skin and doing all of this. So yeah, the conversation happened, and then instead of him upselling me stuff, he gave me a bunch of free stuff, filled up the gas tank. Like, don't even
Oh
worry
my
how much
gosh.
gas you use. And then he's like, here, just take my number if you have any issues. And it was just a really interesting thing because I feel like it sucks that he either was told or feels like he needs to hide the tattoos.
Yeah.
And that ended up my
Yeah.
tattoos ended up being a flag where he saw one of he's like, oh, this guy's like me.
Yeah. He's one of mine.
Yeah, he's one of mine. And I think that's really important that for us not to shy away our individuality in that
Yes.
context.
Say
Because I wouldn't
that.
have known. I didn't see any tattoos on him. He was completely covered up.
Yeah. That's
And
a
then when he
dope
showed
message.
me, he was covered in them. And I thought that was just really interesting. That we
And that's
have this.
corporate America too. A lot of times they make you cover up. They make you
Yeah.
become something that you're not.
And
Because
it's strange. I feel like why? Because also in terms of the timing where we're at now, because it's like
right?
your major decision makers are all people who have grown up a little bit more with this.
Well, let me tell you something. My best friends are part of a car club, right?
Yeah.
So we went with them to the Lowrider Car Show 20 in Vegas. It was a super show,
Yeah.
2022, I think,
Okay.
actually. No, 21.
Okay.
Anyhow, so we're there, and part of that car club, the Vegas chapter, is the CFO of Caesars, or what a
Wow.
Caesars group, right?
Yeah.
Whoever owns that.
Like Caesar's Palace?
Yeah, like it's a whole group. You know
Yeah,
how
it's
they
a
have,
group,
like,
it's a
bunch
group,
of
yes.
casinos, tatted, like you said, from the neck down,
Yeah.
and you would have never known.
Yeah.
And he was a white dude, right? Tall, but he was dressed in his car club T-shirt. All his tattoos were on display. But he's a CFO
Yeah.
of this big, huge corporation. So I'm sure when he goes to work, he has to hide that part of himself too, because the people he's rubbing shoulders with or rubbing elbows with in the corporate America probably would frown.
See, I wonder. I guess I'm challenged. And again, I'm an artist, so I look the part of an artist. So it's not. I even had a friend yesterday. He's a lawyer. He's a partner at his law firm, and he was showing me his office, and his walls were black. And he's gonna repaint them because he goes, it feels unprofessional on my Zoom calls.
That his walls are black?
As
Yeah.
you're sitting in front of a black wall in
Yeah.
your studio.
Yeah. And then
Exactly.
But he's also a partner. So I'm like, you're the boss,
Yeah.
number one. And then he sends me a picture, he goes, "Does it look unprofessional?" I'm like, when you're wearing all black and it's black, yeah, you look like a villain.
Yeah.
So in my head, I
Is he
thought,
black?
no, he's not black.
Oh,
He's
okay.
South Asian. But it was interesting. So I'm like, maybe there is subtle, like even subconscious things,
Right.
and maybe me looking like an artist, I'm playing the part. And maybe if I showed up in a 3-piece suit and had no tattoos, and you guys be like, wait a minute, he doesn't. He
I
doesn't.
wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah,
you were
he doesn't
humble
sound
about it.
like the words that I put that I'm reading.
Yeah.
So there might be that. So I don't want to say that, but I do kind of feel like I feel like the generation of adults now, like millennials and Gen Z, I don't think they care as much, and I don't think
I
they
agree with
see
you.
it as much.
Yeah.
I
have-
agree with you 100%. I feel, first of all, I'm really thankful that I landed in a career that's artistic.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't think that I could ever work in an office setting
Or
where,
in a
and
box.
even when I did work on traditional radio, I could tell you guys right now that I do not know what it is to have to get up in the morning and wear like a dressy shirt and a
Right.
skirt and
Yeah.
high heels and nylons. Remember my mom would wear nylons?
Yes.
Nylons. She would cut out the crotch. I'm like, Mom.
Oh my gosh!
she-
Why are you telling people that?
She was like,
Do you know why?
Yeah, because it would give yeast infections. And I'm like, what?
Mom, she just put you on blast.
Oh, that's a pro tip. That's a pro
That's a
tip.
pro tip.
That's a pro
Who
tip.
wants to get a yeast infection?
Someone is listening to this at work right now
That's
wearing
a pro tip.
nylon.
What do I have on my head? Are you lying?
No,
What do I have? A bug?
a piece of lint.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Big sister order restored.
yeah.
You see, I told you.
So yeah, my mom. I can't imagine having to get up in the morning and just. But how many people
But that's
do
a
it?
lot of people's
Yeah.
reality.
But
and like
the-
the three
but-
of us here
Yeah.
right now cannot relate because we're all three artists.
No,
We're
but-
in artistic fields.
How many of those people, like back to what you were saying,
Yeah.
probably do that because that's the career they land? They're accountants or they're,
But this is just a stepping stone for that guy. I mean, he's on his way and he's probably going to be a dope ass
Yeah.
tattoo artist. You know, this is just a means to an end for now. I know my youngest son, he loves tattoos. I
Yeah.
have tattoos. His dad has tattoos. He loves tattoos.
Yeah.
He wanted a tattoo. I said, can you at least wait until you're 18 years old?
Yeah.
He said, okay. So
and
he did.
on his 18th birthday, he got a whole
No,
tribal
on his
piece.
18th birthday, he got a huge, his whole entire upper arm, right? And then on his 21st birthday, I told him, can you at least focus on one area so that you don't look patched together, right? So if you are going to start on your arm, sleeve it.
It's it's so interesting because you're being open minded about tattoos,
Oh, yeah.
but you're still being a mom about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, forever.
Can you like
and
not let it
always.
look patchy?
Yeah.
Like make sure you like.
Make sure you put somewhat
See,
put
but
together.
for me, I'm a hairdresser, so
Yeah, true.
aesthetics matter to me. So when I
Yeah.
see somebody that has a dope sleeve that looks so
Yeah.
beautiful versus a tattoo here and a tattoo there and a tattoo there, so I told him at least start with your sleeve, and then afterwards, I mean, eventually he won't be 21 anymore, right? He'll be doing whatever the hell he
Yeah.
really, really wants. My influence will become less and less, but I'm paying for these, so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important for me that he understands. And I told him the same thing. I said, for now, until you really understand what you're gonna do for in life, don't go past your
Yeah.
hands. I said, after that, depending on where you land in life, you can do whatever you want. you
Yeah.
know?
And a lot of artists won't go above the wrist and the collarbone unless it's one of those like chicken and egg things where it's like you have to have a tattoo above your wrist or collarbone before they'll give you another one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you have to like
Like
find.
what came first?
Yeah, so you have to be like, So if you went and your hands are completely clean, most responsible tattoo artists shouldn't tattoo you,
Oh,
and it shouldn't go above your collarbone as well.
that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
For
The other day,
professional
this girl
reasons.
wrote to me on Snapchat and she was like, I have a question, Roxy. Would you ever tattoo your husband's initials on you? I'm not married, but
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's an automatic no, husband or
I
not.
would tattoo initials.
I wouldn't. For
I would.
what?
You could- That's an
You know
easy
what?
cover,
My
bitch.
my sister just did. However, they've been together since '98.
Yeah.
And first she did they have 2 kids. She's done the 2 kids. Then they did the dates. I don't think she did the initial. She did the date she met him.
Oh, okay. See, that's cute.
it. That's
Or the
it.
coordinates of where you met.
Did you
That's
see
so
J-Lo
cute.
and Ben
Yes, I was
just
about to
did
tell you
that
that.
for Valentine's?
That's a really small tattoo, and I would definitely like tattoo something on my ring finger because I have no intention of my husband and I not being married ever, right? Even if something tragic were to happen, he would still be my husband in my heart, you know? So I would definitely do tattoos. What I wouldn't do ever, ever, ever is like
A portrait.
a portrait or a big ass placa, right? Like Mel's girl.
Or no, I see people that they have right on top of their boob like
Oh,
a
I
man's
cannot,
name, and
never.
I'm like, just my advice for tattoos is think about it, because there's people that you're like, I don't know, it was cute, and I'm like, what? I think tattoos have to have meaning. Think about
But
it.
only to yourself.
Think about
You
the
don't have to understand
placement.
people's tattoos.
It's true, but I mean, I most people that I know that have tattoos, if you ask them why did you get that, what's
Yeah.
the story behind that? It's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
But I remember one time I used to date a tattoo artist,
Yeah.
and I met a
Don't
lot.
remind me.
I met a lot of his clients, and I remember this one girl came in with just tattoos everywhere, and it was a Tweety on her. And I was like, "Oh, what does Tweety symbolize to you?" She's like, "I don't know. I just got it because it was cute." And I was like, I wanted to slap her. Like,
Why is that your business?
You know what
It
it
was
is.
just
I
so-
do think for people starting out, I think the three that I would say focus on is meaning, placement, and aesthetics.
yes.
Because that way, if the meaning, like let's say you get a
say
mermaid,
that to the camera, please.
meaning, placement. So meaning, like what the tattoo means to you, placement, where you get it, and the aesthetics, how it actually looks.
Yes.
You don't want to see my first tattoo, Humble.
Oh God, you
I was
don't.
15 years
You
old.
don't.
It happened like with a prison gun type tattoo.
Oh my god.
In my
On our
mom's
kitchen
kitchen
counter.
in about 15 minutes because my mom, I heard that
She was
garage
coming
door open. I was like, oh shit, my mom's home. Back it up. Back it up. And to this day, I'm 46 years old and it's still on my body.
Susie, why don't you?
Shh. Don't tell anybody where it's at.
I
I'm
won't.
getting it removed. That's it.
Why don't you get it covered up and put like Mel Tyrone?
You just told everybody where it's at.
No, but you know what it is? It's also what I realized.
It's
as I said,
nostalgic at this point.
it's nostalgia. It's a timestamp.
Yeah.
It's something to laugh at.
People are like, oh, you been to prison? No, not really.
I'm like, why would you
Like
tattoo?
prison came to me.
And why would you tattoo your own name on you? It's
I
literally
was 15, bitch. You don't have no sense or reason when you're 15.
it's her
I just
own
thought it was
name.
cool.
I was like, you're gonna forget your name one day?
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Okay, listen. What is your highlight or rant?
Okay, so my highlight is I gathered my Panama travelers over the weekend because it was Valentine's weekend. So I asked Mel, like, hey, what does your schedule look like? Mine was clear, his was clear. So I was like, do you want to go to dinner? See who's available. Now, there's a couple of them that live in Vegas and one that lives in New Jersey, so they couldn't make it. But most of them were local to Southern California. So we did. We sent out a DM because I have them. So if
How
you travel with me,
cute.
then I put you in a group chat on Instagram. So I reached out to that group. It had been about 6 months since our trip, right?
6
So-
months already?
Yeah. So I reached out and I was like, hey guys, I'm thinking of going to dinner for Valentine's Day. Would love to add you to the reservation if you're available. Let me know in minutes. Everybody's like, open, available, add me. So, and then I invited Damon and Tuasha, which are my husband's cousins, and our best friends, Junior and Sham. So
Did they
we went
love
and
it?
We had a big dinner at Ceviche Stop.
Oh,
Ran into a follower of the show, a fan of the show. I don't remember your name, girl. I'm so sorry. But she was like, oh, I listened to the show. I've been following Roxy since she was on the radio. Love it. So she was sweet. But yeah, we had such a good time. You know, Ceviche Stop is
Oh my God.
so good.
Chef's kiss to Chef Walter.
I can't tell you. They added more drinks to the menu. I can't tell you how many pisco sours I had.
Oh my
Mel's like,
gosh.
how many pisco sours are you going to have? And I was
Yeah.
like, how many are you going to buy me?
Those are good. And you know
Well,
what?
that's the better question.
I haven't tasted alcohol since September. To everybody that
Oh.
fell for my in Egypt. Oh, honestly, I stopped drinking in Egypt when I went because that's when I found out that I was pregnant. But I haven't tasted alcohol since September. So I just sit there and I just watch. But I will tell you
You want me
that
to tell you something funny?
I will be looking forward to having a glass of wine with you and my mom and my tias when this is all over.
When I was pregnant with Robert, I was 8 months pregnant and I was craving a margarita like nobody's business. So I called my doctor and I was like, I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm almost done cooking him. It's got to be okay. Like the
He's
pregnancy,
almost out the oven.
yeah, the pregnancy
Yeah.
was healthy. But I called my doctor and I was like, doctor, I am craving a margarita. You know, have you had an intense craving yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been craving a lot of spicy food.
Okay.
I
well,
want
my-
everything like beyond milds. Like it can't be too hot, but I want to be like I don't know. Is this kid gonna be hairy?
Probably.
Oh
no, I think
my
I think you
gosh.
get heartburn when your babies are hairy. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I was pregnant.
Is
but
that true that the kid comes out hairy when you eat a lot of spicy food?
or I think when you have heartburn.
Oh, I don't have a heartburn. You know
Can
what?
y'all let us know in the comments on Patreon if what is it? Is it when you eat spicy food, your baby's hairy, or when you have heartburn, your baby's
I
hairy?
will say though that I have not had one day of morning sickness since I
You
found
are
out that I was
lucky.
pregnant, and I'm
You are
officially
so
6 months
lucky.
now, and you can't even tell that I'm pregnant.
No.
That's crazy.
So I called my doctor and I told her I wanted a margarita, and she was like laughing at me. She was like, "Okay, it's fine." She's like, "Just order it with extra ice and light on the tequila." And I
That's
just wanted
good.
like the flavor, the salt, right? So here I go, 8 months
Waddling
pregnant,
your ass.
me and Sham to Don Jose's. Remember Don Jose's?
No,
No, bitch, I'm that old. Oh shit.
where's Don Jose's?
Don
There's-
Jose's was a restaurant.
There's
like,
so many Don Jose's all over the world.
it was like an El Torito type restaurant. But
Okay.
It was called Don Jose's. Anyhow, so here we go straight to the bar. And oh, when I tell you, people were looking at me like, this bitch. And I was like, mind your business. She's having a margarita. It was so good.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
with a T.
Well, my highlight or rant is, so I don't know if I have like a friendly competition going on with one of my neighbors, but
What do you mean?
I don't know, because I feel like he looks at my house and I look at his house.
I
and
know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Y'all's houses are like twins.
Our houses are starting to look alike a lot, and I shout out to anybody that puts effort into their homes, especially when you own them. You just put love into it, right? But the other day, I got home. I'm like driving into the block,
I get fijona. Okay, I can't wait to
and
hear
he
this.
put this really beautiful, because my house I upgraded it all, like compared to how it was when I bought it.
Yeah. It was
Everything
like a
is
brown box when you bought it.
Yeah, everything is upgraded and new, right? And so I drive the other day into the neighborhood, and he got a brand new garage door that I wanted to get for my house, and he got it before me.
Ooh,
And I'm like,
burn.
And I was
What are you gonna
already
do?
looking into it. I was already about to like hire the people to come put this garage door. It makes the whole house look modern.
Now he's gonna think you copied
And
him.
so I'm having this dilemma where I'm like, you know what? If I get it, he's gonna think I'm a biter. So the other day, my
cares
should I
what
not?
he thinks.
I'm just so torn. It's not even that. It's not that I'm just
What
like.
if you guys join forces? Y'all can get like stuff on discount if you guys buy
I know,
both.
seriously.
I just think I don't know if he is just watching my house or mine as well. But our houses are starting to look alike, and
That's
they
my
really are.
that's my biggest fear, like with the suburban life. Is like that's what kind of occupies real estate in someone's head. So I see that with my friends, like my married friends in the suburbs in Toronto. It's like
yeah,
everyone's turning into a Tesla driving.
Yes.
know,
yeah,
It's
yes.
Sort of like, remember the movie with Michael Myers?
Halloween.
No, he plays the Cat in the Hat.
Okay.
Did you ever watch it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, where every house looks the same, and
It
they
gets
all drive out the
uniform.
driveways at the same time
Yeah,
to go to
yeah,
work.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that where you have these little cold wars with your neighbors over
The
stuff.
thing is where my neighborhood, all of the houses look different, but I don't know if he like comes outside when I'm asleep and looks at my house. I just put this brand new gate on the side of my house.
Don't tell me he got it.
No, he didn't get it, but it's like anytime I do anything to my house, he's doing
I
something to his
think
house.
You are thinking way too much about it.
No, I'm just upset.
Or
Let
you're
it
not thinking
go.
enough
Let
about
it
it,
go.
and you need to
Or she's not being creative enough, huh?
step it up. Yeah.
He just called you out, girl.
How you calling me out,
I'm
Humble? But I'm just like,
like,
I'm like, how did he beat me to the punch on this garage door?
You slept on it.
So the other day, my handy guy came over because he had to do the snake in my tub because I had a bunch of hair clogged in there, and he's like, ¿Ya vistes la puerta de tu vecino? Because he's the one that does all the upgrades
He
to my
said,
house.
Did you see your
And I go,
neighbor's door?
I did. He goes,
Mm.
why didn't you put that on your house? I said, I was about to. He beat me to the punch. He's like, que te valga madre, do it.
I told you.
So I think I'm going to do it. But then I'm
Can
going to
you
look
get
like
it
a
in another
biter.
color?
I'm
Can
gonna
you get
look like a
variation in
copycat.
color?
I'm so
Raquel,
mad.
since when do you care what you look like?
I don't copy. I'm always
How
the
many
one.
times have I said, Raquel, don't do that. You're going to look ridiculous. And you're like, send.
but you gotta you gotta stunt on it. You need like a garage door that opens like this.
I know, right?
Something,
Or like that.
yeah.
It
Like a
has to be
Tesla.
different.
Yeah.
That's my rant. Is that he
Lamborghini
beat
door,
me,
garage door.
he beat me to the punch, and I can't believe it. That was the exact garage door that I wanted for my house. I rolled up, and the lights were on. The garage door was
He wanted to show off. He wanted to tell you, like, look at me, bitch.
the garage was closed, but the lights were on, and I just was like, it looks so dope. Like it would just give my house a whole
Just
different look.
do it.
Did you,
I
do
should
you,
just
do you guys
do
see
it.
the film, the Christian Bale, American Psycho?
No.
So there's a whole thing about that with business cards.
What?
So like all the guys, like they always meet up for lunch. They're all corporate types. And then one guy always pulls out his business card, and it's always like a step up from the last guy's business card. Like, oh, he got the eggshell, and he got the corner cuts, and he got whatever. And then Christian Bale, who's American Psycho, and like that enrages him. You know, that
Oh.
motivates him to murder.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay, I
not
take it
that.
back.
I'm not saying that, but I'm
I'm
just
not
like
that
it's that idea
competitive.
where like people ain't even other people aren't even noticing
I know.
like quality of the business cards
Right.
or garage doors, and it's it's grinding your gears. I
I'm
think that's
just like,
hilarious.
I'm just so upset I didn't get it first. I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna look like the one that's a copycat, and I'm not. But anyways, that's my rant, and I will just breathe through it, and I will just find another cute, modern looking, because I just can't get the same one, Susie.
Well, I can't
I-
wait to hear.
Will not
how
be
this
able to
plays
live with
out.
myself knowing that I copied him.
You'll be able to live with yourself just fine. Bitch.
But what if
What
you-
are you gonna do when the baby comes? Not get the same stroller as your vecina?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
No, I like
where she's
being
at.
original.
That's where she's at.
Yeah, I
Where she's
like
at.
being cutting edge original. Just kidding. It's not that serious, you guys. That's why it was just a rant. I'm over it.
So today's podcast episode, we're gonna chat with Humble the Poet about his books, about his life, about his journey, and we'll do that all on Patreon.